The Brave Rabbit and the Loyal Tortoise. Once upon a time, in a vast forest, there lived a quick-witted rabbit named Rio. Rio was known for his speed and agility, always racing through the woods and boasting about his skills. However, he didn't have many close friends because he thought everyone was slower than him. In the same forest lived a gentle tortoise named Tito. Tito moved slowly but was wise and thoughtful, always taking his time to enjoy the beauty of the forest. Though many animals didn't notice him, Tito was happy with his peaceful life. One sunny morning, Rio dashed past Tito, laughing as he sped by. "You're too slow, Tito. How can you enjoy life at such a pace?" Rio teased as he zipped past. Tito simply smiled and continued his slow walk, not letting Rio's words bother him. Later that day, Rio saw Tito again, slowly crossing a meadow. Feeling playful, Rio decided to challenge Tito to a race, thinking it would be an easy victory. "Let's race to the big oak tree on the hill," Rio said, grinning confidently. Tito, never one to back down from a challenge, agreed with a nod. "Let's do it," he said, moving to the starting line as Rio bounced with excitement. The other animals gathered around, curious to see what would happen. The race began with Rio zooming ahead, leaving a cloud of dust behind. Tito, moving at his usual slow pace, started his journey with steady determination. The animals couldn't help but giggle at the huge gap between the two racers. Halfway through the race, Rio looked back and saw how far Tito was behind. Feeling confident, Rio decided to rest under a shady tree for a quick nap. "I've got plenty of time," Rio thought as he lay down and closed his eyes. Tito, on the other hand, kept moving steadily, step by step. He wasn't in a hurry, but he wasn't stopping either, focused on the goal ahead. The animals cheered him on, admiring his persistence. As time passed, the sun began to set, and Rio was still asleep under the tree. Tito continued his journey, now much closer to the finish line. The forest animals began to gather at the oak tree, sensing an unexpected twist. Finally, Tito reached the foot of the oak tree and crossed the finish line. The animals erupted in cheers, amazed by Tito's quiet determination and steady pace. Meanwhile, Rio woke up with a start, realizing he had overslept. Rio quickly jumped up and dashed toward the oak tree, but it was too late. Tito had already won the race, and the other animals greeted him with applause and admiration. Rio felt embarrassed but couldn't deny that Tito deserved the win. "How did you do it?" Rio asked, panting heavily. Tito smiled and replied, "I may be slow, but I never gave up. Steady progress always beats rushing without focus." Rio nodded, understanding the wisdom in Tito's words. From that day on, Rio stopped underestimating others. He realized that everyone has their own strengths and that perseverance is just as valuable as speed. Rio and Tito became good friends, helping each other in their own ways. One day, a storm hit the forest, knocking over trees and flooding the riverbanks. The smaller animals struggled to stay safe, and panic spread through the forest. Rio and Tito knew they had to do something to help. Rio used his speed to gather food and supplies for the animals trapped by the flood. He ran back and forth, making sure everyone had what they needed to stay safe. Meanwhile, Tito guided the animals to higher ground, where the floodwaters couldn't reach them. Together, they made sure all the animals were safe and sound. Even though the storm had caused destruction, Rio and Tito's teamwork helped the forest recover quickly. The other animals were grateful for their bravery and friendship. As the days went on, Rio and Tito's bond grew stronger. They realized that their differences made them a perfect team, each bringing unique strengths to their friendship. The forest animals respected them as leaders and looked up to their example. Whenever a challenge arose, Rio and Tito faced it together. Rio's speed helped in urgent situations, while Tito's wisdom and calm nature guided their decisions. They learned that true friendship is about complementing each other's strengths. One day, a young fox named Finn came to the forest and challenged Rio to a race. Finn was fast and confident, much like Rio had once been, and boasted about his speed. But instead of accepting the challenge, Rio suggested that they have a different kind of contest. Rio proposed that they both work together to build a new shelter for the animals. He explained that true strength isn't just about speed, but also about cooperation and hard work. Finn, though hesitant, agreed to give it a try. With Tito guiding them, Rio and Finn began gathering materials for the shelter. Rio used his speed to gather leaves and branches, while Finn helped construct the walls. Tito, as always, offered wise advice on how to build a strong and sturdy structure. As they worked, Finn realized that teamwork was far more rewarding than competing. By the end of the day, they had built a sturdy shelter that would protect the animals from any future storms. Finn thanked Rio and Tito for teaching him the value of friendship and cooperation. The forest animals gathered around the new shelter, praising the efforts of Rio, Tito, and Finn. The shelter became a symbol of their friendship and a reminder that working together brings the best results. From that day forward, the forest became a close-knit community where everyone helped each other. Rio and Tito's friendship continued to inspire others in the forest. Whenever disagreements arose, the animals would remember how the rabbit and tortoise had worked together to achieve great things. The forest became a place of harmony and mutual respect. The moral of the story is, true strength lies not in speed or individual abilities, but in perseverance, cooperation, and valuing the unique strengths of others. Friendship and teamwork can achieve far more than competition alone.